Ever wondered what life was like for our ancestors millions of years ago? We often picture them hunting massive mammoths or gathering wild berries, but their world was filled with dangers far smaller and deadlier than a saber-toothed cat. Imagine a threat so insidious it could wipe out entire families, a silent killer lurking in the most unlikely of places, their next meal. Today, we're journeying back in time to uncover a terrifying disease that plagued prehistoric people, a story of survival, desperation, and a lesson hidden in the bones of the long dead. Let's set the scene. We're not talking about the Stone Age you see in cartoons. This is a brutal, unforgiving world. Food is scarce, and every day is a battle for survival. You eat what you can find: berries, roots, insects, and yes, any small animal you can catch. In this desperate hunt for calories, a small, scurrying rat might not just be a pest. It could be the difference between starving and surviving another day. But catching and eating that rat could also be a death sentence. Our story begins not in a cave, but in a laboratory, with a team of archaeologists and paleopathologists. They were examining the skeletal remains of a prehistoric family, discovered in a cave system in what is now modern-day Spain. The bones dated back thousands of years. As they analyzed them, they noticed something strange. The bones were riddled with lesions, small, destructive holes that indicated a severe, chronic infection. This wasn't the result of a simple injury or a broken bone that healed poorly. This was evidence of a systemic disease, one that had ravaged their bodies from the inside out. The question was, what could have caused such devastation? The initial theories were broad. Maybe it was tuberculosis, or a fungal infection. But the pattern of bone damage didn't quite match. The real clue came from an unexpected source: the teeth. Using advanced dental calculus analysis, the hardened plaque on teeth that preserves microscopic bits of everything a person ate, they found DNA fragments. And among the remnants of plants and other animal tissues, they found the DNA of a specific, notorious bacterium. Yersinia pestis *. Does that name ring a bell? It should. Yersinia pestis * is the bacterium responsible for the plague, the Black Death that devastated medieval Europe, wiping out up to half the population. Finding it in remains this ancient was a groundbreaking, and frankly, terrifying discovery. It meant the plague was not just a medieval problem. It has been a human adversary for a very, very long time. So, how did our prehistoric family get the plague? This is where the rats come back into the picture. Yersinia pestis * primarily lives in rodent populations. Fleas bite an infected rat, pick up the bacteria, and then jump to a new host, biting them and transmitting the disease. This is the classic transmission cycle we know from history. But the researchers proposed a second, more direct, and even more gruesome route of infection for our ancestors: consumption. In a world without agriculture, refrigeration, or even basic hygiene, you ate what you could get. If a family was starving and they managed to catch a few rats, they wouldn't be picky. They would likely cook them over an open fire. But prehistoric cooking methods weren't exactly a guarantee of sterilization. If the meat was undercooked, any bacteria living within the animal's tissues could survive and be directly ingested. Imagine taking a bite of your hard-won meal, only to unknowingly swallow the seeds of your own demise. Once inside the human body, Yersinia pestis * is a monster. In its septicemic form, it enters the bloodstream and multiplies at an alarming rate, spreading throughout the body. It attacks the organs, causes internal bleeding, and can lead to a condition called disseminated intravascular coagulation, where tiny blood clots form throughout the body, blocking small blood vessels and cutting off blood supply to limbs and organs. This is what was causing the lesions on the bones. The infection was literally eating them away from the inside, a slow and agonizing process. Think about what this would have been like for a small, isolated group of early humans. One person gets sick after eating a rat. They develop a high fever, chills, and extreme weakness. They have no medicine, no doctors, no understanding of germs. They would likely attribute it to evil spirits or a curse. Then, another family member who shared the meal falls ill. Panic would set in. The disease would spread, not just from eating the infected meat, but potentially through close contact. The pneumonic form of the plague can be spread through respiratory droplets. Just like a cold, a cough, or a sneeze from a sick individual could doom everyone else in the enclosed space of a cave. What we see in these bones is the final chapter of a family's tragedy. A story of a meal that was meant to provide life but instead brought death. It highlights the incredible fragility of prehistoric existence. Every choice had monumental consequences. The line between sustenance and poison was terrifyingly thin. This discovery reshapes our understanding of ancient diseases. It shows us that these modern plagues have ancient roots, and they have been shaping human evolution and society for millennia. This ancient case of the plague wasn't an isolated incident. As scientists look at more ancient remains with these new techniques, they are finding more and more evidence of Yersinia pestis * and other pathogens. It paints a picture of a prehistoric world that was a minefield of infectious diseases. Every water source could harbor deadly parasites. Every insect bite could transmit a fatal illness, and as we've learned, every meal could be a gamble. Our ancestors weren't just strong and resilient, they had to be incredibly lucky. So what's the takeaway from this grim tale? It's a profound reminder of how far we've come. We live in an age of antibiotics, vaccines, and a deep understanding of germ theory. A disease that was a death sentence for our ancestors is now, in most cases, treatable with a simple course of medication. We owe an incredible debt to the scientific and medical advancements that protect us from these ancient killers that still lurk in the world. This story, written in bone and decoded by science, is more than just a piece of ancient history. It's a testament to human vulnerability, the relentless struggle for survival, and the incredible journey that has led us to the world we live in today. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into our prehistoric past. It's a bit grim, but absolutely fascinating, isn't it? If you found this story as compelling as I did, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more journeys into the forgotten corners of history and science. Let me know in the comments what ancient mystery you'd like us to explore next. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.